Hello, everybody, and welcome back to NCAA 2004, the Alabama Crimson Tide Dynasty, your new number one team in the country. Can you believe that? The number one ranked team in the country. I think it's the first time we've been ranked number one in the country. We weren't even number one when we played in the BCS national title game last year against Texas. We were both 2 and 3, so I think this is our first time being number one in the country. Maybe sneaked up there at some point earlier in one of the other seasons. I doubt it, though, so I think this is the first time. And the reason we're number one is because the Ohio State Buckeyes lost to Iowa by a point. So the Iowa Hawkeyes torpedoed Ohio State's season here, their chances rather, because Ohio State still has the throes of their Big Ten schedule to get through, like Michigan and probably like Wisconsin too, which is going to maybe trip them up. So that might have potentially ruined Ohio State's season by losing to Iowa. So we'll keep a close eye on that, obviously, because now we're in the driver's seat as far as the BCS is considered. If we can just keep winning football games, then we will obviously be there. But and we're pretty far along. We're 8-0, so we only have 4 more games. 3 after this one. To finish, basically. But, we do need to win the SEC as well, so you can basically make it 5 games, I guess, because we got to get to 13-0 being in the SEC in order to get to the BCS championship game. Even if we lose the SEC championship after going 12-0, that'll take us out of it most likely. So we definitely need to win out. So, and Tennessee's going to make it difficult. That's typically what they do. Because this is now our, 6th meeting? Because we played them twice last season. We did beat them both times. So we barely beat them in the regular season, and then in the SEC championship game, it was a bit of a back and forth, but we did end up beating them by multiple scores. So this is our fourth straight meeting with Tennessee ranked. Fourth straight ranked meeting between both teams. So this rivalry has been definitely very heated. It is a rivalry game considered by the game, and probably by Alabama and Tennessee fans alike. They both consider this a pretty heated rivalry, and for good reason, because it is a high-flying matchup, and it's probably going to be no different here in Tuscaloosa in this 5th or 6th meeting between both teams, as Tim Lewis takes a shot to the end zone after a big Jody Quinn pickup to get him in Tennessee territory, but unfortunately nobody was home as that ball was batted around. I think Scott Mitchell might have had it in his hands, but either way, we cannot convert on 3rd down, so we bring up Marion Ferguson for a very long field goal, and he nails it through for 3 points to get us started here after a few minutes are taken away off of the clock. So we're going to give the ball over to Tennessee, but not before scoring 3 points. But they're unable to do anything with it, so we're back on offense here. And Lamont Farrell, a trick player, is going to go for a running back pass, a halfback pass, and he's going to find Scott Mitchell downfield inside the red zone for a humongous pickup. So Lamont Farrell, man, getting his quarterback chops on. Who knew he could throw the ball like that? So 1st and 10 now inside the 20, and Tim Lewis right across the middle fires that to Chad Whitaker into a tiny little window, and Whitaker is able to catch that one and get brought down at about the 1-yard line. So trying to finish the job here, and Tim Lewis gets absolutely clobbered off of the edge, and that wobbler somehow finds its way into the hands of Dejon. I keep wanting to say Garland. Remember Garland, our old receiver? I don't know why my brain's now confusing the two of them, Dejon Carroll and Victor Garland. I have no idea why, but Dejon Carroll is the one who's able to track that ball through a whole mess of players here in the end zone and somehow come down with it. So we're going to take a 2-score lead over Tennessee, 10-0, but they are not done, as Alton Carr, the quarterback who we are familiar with from previous games. He's going to find Cecil Randolph. He's going to fire a ball into Randolph's hands, and so Tennessee's offense really struggling to get things going here early in the football game. Tim Lewis runs into a whole bunch of pressure, and he finds a receiver who I do not have written down. I think he might be the backup tight end. I really don't know. Receiver 5? I really don't know. We haven't seen number 80 all year long, so anyway, in the last play of the first quarter, on a 3rd and short, more pressure gets to Tim Lewis, and geez Louise, man, we just cannot seem to protect the quarterback, man. It has just been heavy hit after heavy hit, as Tim Lewis is going to eat a little bit more grass, and we're going to have to finish this drive after the conclusion of the first quarter, holding on to a 10-0 lead. Marion Ferguson hopefully can make this 13-0 as the kick is up, and he pushes this one wide left. So no, we're going to remain at 10-0 over the Volunteers as that drive completely ends in disaster, as Tim Lewis could not seem to evade any pressure for the last couple plays, and Marion Ferguson cannot complete this kick. He's been otherwise really good for us this year, but comes up short there. So Tennessee is now going to try their hand at playing a little bit of offense, and it's their running back, we do have written down here, but running back Brett Anderson, who's able to find some open space and get a nice pickup for the Volunteers offense. At least that's who I think it is. That's a pretty big guy. It might be their fullback. I thought it might be the running back, but that looks like a fullback, so it could be their fullback. But either way, so 1st and 10 for the Volunteers. Carr so scrambling around in the pocket. There is Brett Anderson, and he's going to catch that pass out of the backfield and get brought down for a first down. So Tennessee is going to continue to move the ball here, getting closer and closer into Crimson Tide territory. And again, another quick release for Carr as he fires this one off to his receiver. And again, still, one of these times, I'm going to write down the receiver's numbers and not stop writing down the names, but it's not going to be this one. So we get to goal to go here, but it's 3rd and goal for Tennessee. They're going to try and punch this one in. Carr, desperately got to figure something out here. They get Tennessee in the end zone. Struggles with a little bit of pressure. There really wasn't much there. Kind of ran around, but he does find an open receiver in the back of the end zone. He was kind of open, man. Really kind of open. There wasn't really anyone on our defense covering. So on the ensuing kickoff, it's a return from Mark Blackwell. Blackwell's going to fumble it, and there's nothing but Volunteers there to get the ball, and they're going to scoop it and score. So Mark Blackwell fumbles the ball here on the kickoff. A huge special teams blunder. So our 10-0 lead over Tennessee within seconds evaporates into a 4-point deficit now to Tennessee. And so our offense continuing to struggle, and Tennessee looking to score yet again here deep in their own end. And it's a screen pass, I guess. Alton Carr had to throw it across his body back over to Brett Anderson, but Brett Anderson's got some speed on him. He shakes off David Ford, and it's only Blackwell who can catch him, but he's not even close. So Brett Anderson, a huge reception after being essentially dead to rights in the backfield. I have no idea how Brett Anderson was able to escape that. I have no idea how Alton Carr was able to escape that. See, the pressure was on, and we had some guys in the backfield who maybe could make a play on it. Brett Anderson escapes from that one block here, and David Ford, only one who could really kind of do something at it. Blackwell gets kind of stuck on Ford as he gets shaken off and just gets further away from Anderson. So that's disaster player. So 21-10 is now the score. We find ourselves in quite a bit of trouble here late in the first half, is on that 3rd down play. Tim Lewis was unable to find Jody Quinn in the end zone. So 4th and 11, we're going to bring up Marion Ferguson again, trying to at least get a little bit of points on the board, and he pushes that one wide right. So Marion Ferguson with the 2nd straight missed field goal in this football game, and the lead's going to remain at 11 points for Tennessee as the first half comes to a close. So we are on the ropes at home at Bryant-Denny. Tennessee has got us staring a multi-possession deficit in the face. So we start things off on offense on 1st and 10. Tim Lewis takes a couple steps back here and fires this one across the middle, and he finds Lamont Farrell out of the backfield. Love that we have a running back that can at least somewhat decently, work as a receiver. But so we're facing a 3rd and 10 as Tennessee's defense is still playing pretty strong. So Lewis drops back here. Plenty of time to throw this time. Unloads a deep shot and wide open. It's Chad Whitaker, completely wide open. How do you let Chad Whitaker get that open, man? I feel like this is Jeremiah Smith from this year for Ohio State. I feel like it's the same type of thing. How are you going to let Chad Whitaker get that open? That's just crazy. You can't let him get behind you like that. Just picking apart that zone. It's what we like about Tim Lewis, just picking apart that zone. So we do finally get some points and get the game back within 4 points here, but Tennessee's back on offense. Alton Carr all day to throw. Takes a deep shot down the field, down the middle of the end zone, down the middle of the field, into the end zone, and it's going to be another Volunteer touchdown as we had him in double coverage, but Alton Carr was able to get this one right into a window, I guess. David Ford and Cecil Randolph really couldn't do a whole lot of anything to prevent that play from happening. Just, a good angle, a good ball, really. So the lead goes back to 11 points on a 3rd and 15, thanks to probably another sack. Tim Lewis has to fire this one across the middle to Quinn, and he gets him there. He gets the ball to him, and Quinn seizes that little gap there, tries to rely on some speed, but he doesn't quite have it. Maybe next year or the year after he might have it, but he gets brought down, but not before getting a humongous pickup for the Alabama offense. But another 3rd and long here for the Crimson Tide as we've just struggled on 1st and 2nd down all game, but Tim Lewis is able to get it to Scott Mitchell along the sideline, and that's going to extend the drive a little bit more. So we're really just hanging on by a thread right now, trying to keep ourselves into this ball game as our offense has really struggled here in the 3rd quarter. So 1st and and 10 here to Lewis. Under some pressure again on the run. Has to throw it across his body to Chad Whitaker, who's just able to evade that defender and cut up field to get the first down before he's pushed out of bounds right by the stick. So fast forward to another 3rd and 4. Third down, man, it's just been crucial for our offense so far. And pressure is on again to Tim Lewis. Somehow he gets it to Chad Whitaker. Tennessee had more than enough guys in the vicinity, but the dude who probably had the best shot at it completely mistimed that ball. So Chad Whitaker was able to get the catch here, get it inside the 5 for 1st and goal. Tim Lewis drops back. Pressure is on again, and he's going to fumble the football. The ball's going to get bounced into the end zone, and someone is going to land on top of it in the end zone. I can't tell who exactly was on it. I think it was Lamont Farrell. Lamont Farrell landed on top of the ball in the end zone for a touchdown. So he fumbled it forward into the end zone. Somehow that happens. So the game is back to a 4-point lead for Tennessee, but Tennessee's offense is still continuing to roll as Alton Carr finds another open receiver across the middle to get Tennessee just inside the red zone here as he's brought down at about the 20-yard line. So the third quarter is going to come to a close. You better get your 4s up, everybody, because this game has been absolutely crazy back and forth as Tennessee's still holding on to a 4-point lead. But now in a 3rd and long situation, they got to come up with it here. Alton Carr all day to throw here, rolls out to his right and fires it, and he has a man, and the ball is in his hands, but fortunately the pressure that was applied here, he could not hold on to it. So that's going to cause a 4th down for Tennessee, and they're going to have to bring out their special teams unit, and this kick is good. So 31-24 is now your score, a 7-point game. Now that is manageable for us. We can come back from 7 points. This was a bit of a rough game. It was 21-10 at one point, but now more special teams plays here. Hopefully no more special teams shenanigans as a punt here. Mark Blackwell's going to field the punt here, and he's got a wide open running lane on the right side. He's going to go up along the sideline. He beats the last man. There's no one else behind him. 20, 15, 10, 5. He is gone. It is a punt return. So he says, all right, coach, I hear you, Sick Naven. You were upset about my fumble in the kickoff, so here's a punt return. Mark Blackwell making up for his mistake earlier in this ball game, and it's not only going to tie us here, but it is going to get us just right back into this football game, man. An amazing return. Terrible punt coverage by Tennessee, to be completely honest. I really didn't feel like Mark Blackwell did a whole lot here to get open on that one. So 31-31 is your score, but Alton Carr wants the deep shot here, and he's not going to get it. As I believe it was David Ford. Cecil Randolph is celebrating, but I believe it was David Ford who was on the defense there who batted that ball down. So we're going to get the football back here with just over 2 minutes. Pressure's on to Tim Lewis again, but he does get rid of it to Sean Watts. Beautiful spin move by the tight end. He's going to get out into the secondary. He's going to stay in bounds somehow before he get brought down at about the 21-yard line. An amazingly athletic play by Sean Watts. We don't see a ton of those from him, but that was an amazing one. That's a highlight reel play for him. Someone get that on his film. Someone show the scouts that one. So 1st and 10 here. Tim Lewis, plenty of time to throw now. Man in his face, but he takes a shot to the end zone, and it is caught right in the corner of the end zone. A perfectly placed ball by Tim Lewis right where it absolutely had to be, and it is hauled in for another Crimson Tide touchdown. Look at this deep shot here. Oh, man, I don't even know if his foot came down. I'm not really sure. The game's going to call it a touchdown, and we're going to roll with it. There's no review. So we take the lead here 38-31. Alton Carr now, playing from behind finally, has to get something rolling here on offense, and he throws an interception. He somehow throws an interception, and that one is going to go to Demetrius Moore, the senior. He is going to come down with that one, our middle linebacker. So a prime opportunity on offense. Now, we just need to kill some time, and on 2nd and 5, Lamont Farrell is able to get to the sticks here, and so Tennessee's going to have to start burning timeouts because we're basically in kill the clock mode now as we have goal to go, not just goal to go, but a fresh set of downs. So I mean we're pretty much, we could just kind of snap it 3 straight times up the middle to kill some time, but we're going to give to Nick Allen the fullback, and he's going to get it right into the end zone on the first play. So we're going to go from 7 points to now a 14-point lead over Tennessee. Do you guys remember that it was 31-24 at one point? It was 28-24 heading into the 4th quarter. I mean, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like, what's happened to Tennessee? So Alton Carr again with the desperation, but this time he finds Rick Sloan, the free safety. And so another interception, another costly interception for Tennessee. That's back-to-back picks on back-to-back drives for Tennessee, and that's essentially going to ice it as we would be in field goal position, and Tennessee would try and stop the clock here to get the ball back, which would force us to take a field goal. So we end up winning this one 48-31. We were down in this game. We were down by 11 points in this game, and we end up winning by 17. Can you believe this? What happened, Tennessee? What on earth happened, you guys? They had the number 1 team in the country on the ropes for like a half a second. I mean, I feel like the SEC plays this game all the time. where the best team in the conference just comes out and just completely looks lifeless against a good team, a good rival, but clearly inferior, and then they just out of nowhere just pick it up and just absolutely fix everything. And that's essentially what we did today here at home, thank goodness, because a loss as the new number one team in the country at home would have been detrimental to the season. Probably still would have been in play for the SEC title game, but I mean, dude, I want to go back to the BCS title game again. I mean, come on. We can't end it there. Tim Lewis ends up throwing for 39 attempts, and he gets sacked 7 times, bro. Tennessee's defensive line was absolutely sinister. We could not contain them. And as you can see, Lamont Farrell didn't even run the ball that much. So you really got to kind of look between the margins to figure out how on earth this game happened, because we could not protect the quarterback. We did not run the ball effectively. It's a miracle. I mean, and all these mistakes that Alton Carr made at the end of the game, I mean, they were at the end of the game. It's not like he was playing that bad. Marion Ferguson even left 6 points on the board. I mean, we're going to look back at this game and try and just figure out how the heck that happened. So we end up picking up another win, a conference win over Mississippi State, who's not very good this year. So we extend to 10-0 on the season, and that's going to bring us into a matchup against number 10 LSU. Another rivalry matchup in this dynasty, one of the biggest ones we've had all year. Unfortunately, Auburn I don't think is very good, so this might be the last game before the SEC championship game. Of course, if we make it, we will look at the standings in the next episode and really get a good feel for how this season is going to end. But yeah, hope to see you guys back when we're back at home taking on LSU.